Yo. Oh, let's see. We'll wait for Yayo for a second. He said he was going to be here. He was just going to be listening for a second.
Getting the sound. I'm gonna recycle.
All right.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, nobody talking. We're just waiting for Yayo for a second. Did you guys see the portfolio page is better on Dorkify now?
I did see that.
Isn't that nice?
I also successfully transferred some corn over to Voy to stake on Dorkpie.
Oh, shit. Oh, Wilder is showing up tonight. Look at that. Oh. Let's see if we should wait for Yayo. All right. Well, he seems like he's around. We'll give him just a second, and then there he is. Yayo, come on up, and you can listen. There you go. All right, let's get it started. Welcome to this Voy Council meeting on the 15th of December. We've got the whole squad here, and at least two of them are in truck. So, thank you for thank you for joining us. We got the minutes from last meeting as usual right after the thing was done, which is great. So from my notes, kind of opening remarks. One thing I think we should probably keep an eye on is if we can have some kind of better workflow to respond to things a little bit faster when we're not doing the meetings. I think that there's an opportunity to get a few more things done during the week if people just kind of check in. So I would ask that you consider that. Are we recording the call, Fury? Okay, we're live. Yayo asked because he's going to have to kind of go back and do the minutes after this. Um, we have a number of things that are sort of simmering and maybe even kind of starting to get cold. The marketing situation has finally passed, but it's going to require quick block authority approval, and it's also going to require the upfront payment. That's a portion of this whole thing, and also the addition of Fury to the X account. Fury, if you could do me a favor, just so I don't screw it up, and send me your X handle. I know that Gov is willing to add you to that right away. And if there's anybody else that needs to be added to that to undertake this thing, please also send me their information. But I think we can handle this in the next couple of days. It's just important right now to you know get get some extra visibility. I'm continuing to post from the account every day. I think almost every day, but having some concerted effort going on it is going to be great for the network. Um, I'll also mention now that, as far as I know, and Fury, maybe you can correct me, the relay visibility is still not solved, right? And I know that Nest pinged them also, so I don't know what it's gonna take to get visibility on our relays, but it will be very difficult to fairly pay out the relay runners if we don't have any data. The only other kind of thing for announcements, kind of up front, is Dorkfi is very pleased to announce that we've added Sean Ford to our advisory team. And I think that that's going to be excellent for us. It's also going to open up some great doors, not only from a networking perspective, but maybe even a fundraising perspective. And we continue to be very appreciative of Gov and the work he's doing as an advisor also. But having two great names involved is a real big win for Dorkfi. So let's move over to the proposals. And I don't
Can
know
I
if
just make a quick comment in there,
Yeah.
Aruf?
Yeah.
As to your first point about the timely responses, I've been in the woods for about the last 3 weeks, and I did end up filling my fourth deer tag this week. So I'm all done hunting, and at least as far as myself, I'll be much more snappy on the responses going forward. So hunting season is over for me now.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I appreciate it. I'd say that, like, in general, you guys are all very good about, like, kind of catching up in the evenings and stuff like that. I just noticed this last week it was kind of quiet.
Yeah,
And we did.
I haven't even been online the whole week, so that's on my bad. But I am not going anywhere, and my hunting is done. So
Yeah. I don't think it's a big.
very successfully.
I don't think it's a big deal. I just thought I'd point it out because I know that we've had a few things. We have been able to get votes on them, and so they have kind of moved through. But I feel like there was some opportunities to kind of try to get a few things done. So, anybody else have any comments? I guess for the kind of opening remarks or communications that they'd like to chime in.
Yeah, I talked to David, and he said there's two more people on the team, but in the builders meeting last week, Ludo had said that his servers went down, and so that was part of the issue for last week. But anyhow, he's on top of it and going to start taking care of people. I guess a lot better, a lot quicker. They removed the ticket system, he said, and that should make it quicker to get refund people's money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I had some comments on Aramid kind of down in the open discussion period, but that really kind of gets across almost everything that we were going to talk about. They have done a bit better about policing the Discord finally. They did bring on two people to help at least kind of correspond with folks. I have not noticed that all of the tickets are taken care of, but a lot of them I think did get taken care of. So at least they're making an effort of it. I moved proposals around. I don't know if you got a chance to take a look at it, Nuss, but I think we might be missing like one somewhere. But the proposals that need assignment, I don't know that we need somebody assigned to it. Although it wouldn't hurt having somebody else's kind of view on the consensus upgrade. I went out and included the notes I took from talking to the builders, the kind of core developers in Voy, and they all kind of agreed that it was a good thing to upgrade to the new consensus thing, and that the voting portion of it would have to come after that. I did see Wilder's comment that he thought that the distribution of funds automatically should come later, and I don't think there's any way to not do that. I think it all has to come later. But that one, I completed the proposal. It's up there for people to review, but I think kind of across the board, it's something that everybody agrees should pass. And I think that we should probably continue to pass any kind of updates to the core network code until it gets to a point where they're passing something that we really don't like. Like, I guess if Algorand Technologies pushed forward an update that increased the cap of tokens or something else kind of major, there would have to be this discussion about not updating, uh, having essentially a clean fork. But then one thing that I think Dave and I discussed was, as Army and I discussed was the fact that once you go that route, you are in this weird situation where you no longer have somebody developing on your behalf and have to figure out what to do next. So I guess we should just kind of hope we don't get to that point. Was there any other proposals that are going to be needing assignment?
Nope, I don't think so. I think because Fury's passed. On our when we do the assignment, there's been a few pushed through without evaluations, and kind of seems like we're getting away from how we used to do it without getting away from it. Kind of like I believe Block Authority would like to see the evaluation come through before it goes to the vote. And to get the evaluation, somebody's got to be champion to the proposal. So I think we've kind of
I
missed a
thought the
couple
ones
steps in the
I thought the ones that were passed though we didn't really see a point in doing an evaluation, right? Like the salaries and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it was
wasn't-
passed in the past. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we could have somebody else take a look at this, but I mean, frankly, the research that I did by talking to the developers is, I'm guessing, all anybody else will be doing. So I'm not really sure why this one needs somebody to review it. We just need community input, and it's possible that we won't get community input because it's just such like a common sense thing. It seems like everybody wants to do it. It is the way to get the block authority away from running relays and things like that had come up in the past. So I'll leave it up to you guys if you think we need to have somebody assigned to review it further, or if we just need to wait a little bit and let people chime in. But that's
All right. I think we should at least tag. I don't know if we want to tag everybody, but we could tag everyone on the Discord. How I'm gonna look, or share it. Do like a sharing campaign for with the Voy account, just to point people to, hey, we need you guys' feedback here. I mean, if not, I don't think anybody would oppose us just approving it, but it's up to y'all.
I'm good with that.
It doesn't take long to do a value. If it's something that's obvious pass.
Okay, so yeah, and Wilder brings up his BA exit new policy, which we have received. This is different than what he put previous. It's specific to block rewards for block authority, which I think does kind of tie into the upgrading consensus, because yeah, the block rewards would go away if they don't have to run the ballast nodes and relay nodes. The veto power, I think I probably need to hear like more about what you're thinking about that, and if everybody wants him to talk about it now, we can kind of get into that.
I would love to hear dishwasher. Come on.
I second that.
Okay. But Nuss, this one, since it's new, I guess does need to go into the document.
Yeah, it appeared. I didn't see it come in, so it was just showed up.
I don't know
Hello?
how you're doing this thing. Wilder, what's up?
Hey everybody.
Hi.
Let me get on camera here. I can join you. I'm not in truck. But congratulations to those who are in truck, and congratulations on the deer. You got 4?
4 this year, and the last one was actually supposed to be antlerless, and it was the dominant buck had dropped his horns the day before, so it's quite a big deer.
Nice. I like how you walk that line. But good shots. And what's your favorite way to prepare it? other than sausage?
Well, I just pan fry the tenderloin and the steaks, some salt and pepper and butter, man. Just, I don't even need salt and pepper. I just like the deer flavor.
Nice, nice. What I was given as a gift. I would slice the tenderloin ahead of time, pan fry it, and then I usually mix it into like a salad or something like that, trying to get some greens. But it's got a good taste.
Hell yeah.
You like the whole food cycle in one place, huh?
Yep.
Yes.
Get it in my
So
belly. Shoot it and get it in
yeah,
my belly.
I'll be brief. I don't want to waste your time. I'm coming here to talk about why I think the Block Authority exit proposal makes a lot of sense for right now. I see from my experiences, and I'm only saying this to represent myself and nobody else. I feel like they are not doing a job that is worthy of 25% of the block rewards. I also don't think that they are involved enough in the process to have a veto power. I think a veto power should be something that a group of elected officials should have. I don't think it's a group of non-elected officials should have a veto power. So this could be we temporarily lose the veto and the council has all the power, or a new elected representative is found who has the veto power, which I would not be applying for, and I could put that in this proposal that I would not be applying to ever have the veto power. But I think that if we want a protector for Voy, I think it could be an individual. Maybe a middle ground is Gov is specifically the veto power because he is a lawyer. I think that could be a compromise, but I think Block Authority as the entity having veto power is a problem.
The president is supposed to be filling this role, right?
I think so, but I think that in the Constitution, there's Block Authority always had a veto, and I think that now is the time for them to give away that veto, in addition to block rewards.
I mean, I think it is fair to point out that Block Authority at this point is like very absentee. Um, and while I support the effort to reduce their total take as far as block rewards. I do think that if they're running infrastructure the way anybody else is running infrastructure, then they deserve whatever they get from that. If it's not like a ballast node, if it's not tokens that are just kind of like willy nilly on a node. But as far as veto power, I'll be honest, I hadn't really thought much about it because in my memory, Block Authority has never vetoed anything. And I can see how somebody specifically like Gov would be a good named person to have the veto, because I do believe that he's a very fair person, and he's also still very involved in what's going on. But I've seen like the rest of the team basically kind of has been falling by the wayside and hasn't really been around very much. And so I don't know if that's like kind of the tone that leads to this proposal, but I can understand how that would be the case.
Yeah, I will just add before you continue. There's the implication of the veto that I felt as a council member. Whenever I had a proposal that I felt was really pushing against the edges of what we could do, there was this implication of, and it's specifically around council salary the first time around. They Block Authority made the council feel that if you didn't toe the line, we can always come in and veto. And I don't think that a council member should ever feel pressured by the implication of a veto, even if a veto is never used.
Yeah, they would. Of course they wouldn't. They wouldn't use it, but it's just the implication.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, and I experienced it. I think other council members could attest that they experienced some feeling of, if you don't toe the line, we
Yeah.
could use the veto. So I just
Can I
this is
continue
my
talking to you a devil's advocate on this?
Yeah, you need somebody like that's why I said Gov, because you need somebody to like actually stop things if they go crazy.
Oh,
But
no,
I don't.
I myself as a devil's advocate, giving you a slightly different perspective.
I thought you wanted me to flip the debate on myself.
Not goving, yeah, not yeah, not that. So one thing that I noticed when I was attending meetings while you were still on the council with Bagman, and leading up to us all taking over, was that the block authority, a la Chris, had a role to play that was too far outside of what his role should have been in the council. And I believe that presence, if you want to call it that, to take a line from one of the dork traits, was was improper and probably led to that feeling of kind of this overshadowing power that was going to hammer down the council if they didn't do the right thing. And I think that most people here would probably agree that we haven't felt since we took over the meeting and since we basically told Chris we didn't want him running it anymore. We haven't felt any outside pressure at all. Actually, kind of the opposite, where I felt kind of like abandoned because nobody's showing up and doing anything anymore. Um, and so I feel like a portion of what your concerns are were alleviated by the fact that we took back power of the council and structure of how the council's been run. And so I'll let you kind of weigh in on that. That's my general thought, though.
I think that's great. I'm very happy to hear that. I have not been watching recordings, but I'm pleased to know that you feel in control and that there's an elected voice that is leading Voy. That's awesome.
Maybe
That's the
somebody else
vision.
can also chime in, but that's that. I mean, other council members to give validity to what I'm saying. But yeah,
Well,
I feel like
to
I'm
push,
completely out on a limb. Like
but
I'm just doing whatever I want now.
yeah, but on the pushback side, right? Like Block Authority has now told you we want an evaluation, we want it done this way. Please resubmit something that you guys decided on your own. They're still there. They still exist. It's still an entity that's trying to make form the way that you operate. So I would just say I think the other thing with the veto is if you ever find that Block Authority at another time should be even more disentangled from Voy, you can't remove something that has a veto. And I just wanted to raise that maybe as the final point is that when you take the veto and give it to an elected representative or you give it to an individual entity, it puts the onus on a person and it doesn't put it on a Cayman entity in the middle of nowhere. And even if Gov needed to hold it in a Cayman entity, it's just, I think that's my stance on this proposal, and I would love an evaluator and to do it by the book if that's possible.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in about what I was saying or he was saying?
Yeah, what you said is pretty much correct with from what I've experienced. Nothing from. I mean, I only listened. The other meetings were on works. Listen, the amount of block authority. I think Gov was here, but not even really as a more as just an informative person, not as someone throwing out. So
Yeah, Chris
Chris
hasn't
hasn't
attended
meetings
since
since
we've
we've
been
been
the
the
new
new
council, has
council,
he?
has he?
Scott,
Scott,
for some reason you were doing
doing
that.
some.
oh, hold on, let me.
All right, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Logan.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
All right. No, I was just gonna say, Chris hasn't even attended a single meeting since we took over as the new council, and I also feel the same way. I mean, Gov stopped in once or twice to give us a little information, but in no way has he tried to form or shape our opinions on anything. He was more so answering questions about the ballast nodes and their plans to stop receiving block rewards.
Yeah.
So I'm in full agreement with Haruf on that.
And I'll mention like that Wilder, the first iteration of this that you put forward about the the core values and stuff like that, I felt was a little frivolous, and that's why I kind of dismissed it. And we talked about it as a council and kind of dismissed it. I can understand why this would be more important. And yeah, I'd be happy to have, to assign somebody to do kind of like a full like assessment of it and what you're thinking about it. But I guess I do just kind of want to hammer home the fact that many of many of the changes that you would like to see, and I understand kind of where you're coming from with them, are being solved either through consensus update or um, by the council asserting its own like kind of political power in the system and circumventing like the power creep that the block authority was having. Um, and and I will say one more time that I do feel like uh, the amount of tokens that block authority got or is going to get based on the amount of work that they're currently doing is very high. And I would like to see them, more involved. You
Very
would think,
polite of you.
yeah, you would think in general that if you could sell the blockchain at the price that it was before, then you would have an easy time selling it at a 90% discount, and have additional kind of people interested in that kind of thing. Especially while we're building some great products right now, both Dorkfi and Zarmian and Shelly by himself and all that, and also web dev. But
Can't forget web dev.
I can't forget her. Um, but you know that's where my frustration would come from. But I do feel like a lot of these other things, they kind of get solved as we kind of flesh things out. And I would like to mention though that while Nuss mentioned that Block Authority wanted to see a review and stuff like that, we in the past, and I think Yayo said it earlier, have just said no. This is the way we want to do it. We don't need to do a full review. This is common sense. It's already something that we've discussed, and they will rubber stamp it at this point because we're making sound decisions for the network, and I believe nobody's nobody's upset about like the directions we're going or anything like that. So
Just to be clear, that was just my take on it. The way that was always done in the past, and they never physically said, "Hey, we're not going to pass something if we don't get a evaluation." I just assumed that one.
so is it fair then that we just kind of assign somebody to this one, and they just kind of have a deeper conversation and provide some feedback? And then I guess I would personally ask, if since you're coming to meetings and stuff now, you just keep an eye on the way that things are being handled, and you might find that it's quite a bit different than it used to be.
That sounds good. I look forward to my assignee, my champion, and this will be a fun experience to be on the other end of it.
I'm glad to see you back and involved again. By the way, I appreciate it.
This is
would
all
anybody-
being live streamed on Zora on the Jabal token.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah,
Is there
we're
anybody who would like
172.
to coordinate with Wilder on this?
I can take it on.
Cool. I'll write that down. We don't have anything that needs evaluation right now besides this new one. And there's nothing currently on revision or hold. Proposals that were passed, the Humble Ecosystem Grant and the Foy Digital Engagement one that Fury put forward. Yayo is driving. I don't know if he's prepared for grievances in a council space, but we'll see. The Fury one, as I mentioned earlier, once it receives the stamp from Block Authority, we need to get Fury and whoever else onto the Voy account so that they can start to utilize it. And that one, the way he structured it, does have a request of 1.5 million Voy monthly upfront. So we need to get them to approve the payment for that grant also. But I would hope that Fury would like begin work at some point here, especially since we're in the middle of the month, and it might be a good way to just have like a marker for when everything started. So he could begin work once he gets access to the Voy account. And as we discussed in previous meetings, we're really just looking to ensure that whatever Fury is doing, I'm sure it'll be great, but we just need to make sure that whatever he's doing, it makes sense and it's assisting with growing the chain because it's unvested tokens or it's fully vested tokens. I mean, and it's it's an expense. So we want to make sure that he's accountable for utilizing that in a way that's helpful. So, does anybody else have any other things they want to talk about for proposals, or can we just move on to open council discussion?
For those two, so what are the status of that? There.
I didn't get the one. Why do we have so much? Is it? Are you sitting real close to the computers on?
I'm on my. You know what? I'm gonna move my phone. Where? Is that any better? Well, I guess you have to start talking.
It's better. It's better. I can see. No, never mind. No, it's not better. So
you know what? I'm gonna go get a Bluetooth headset. I think that'll solve it.
All right, cool. The humble one. I'm trying to remember exactly what we were dealing with there. Let me see if I can open it up. I thought that was the incentives for WAD pools, and I believe that passed, and
it passed.
So I guess there's no additional steps to take there. It's basically just going to be Shelley on behalf of Humble requesting Void milestones to provide an incentive for pools that involved WAD. So there's that one.
So that's been reviewed by Block Authority.
I don't know. Did it? Not said it. Did it make it all the way through?
It did. No, I don't. Let me go to the tracker. Hang on.
Oh, you know what? I talked to Gov today, and he told me that he'd been crazy busy with work lately, and he had a number of different things that he needed to execute on behalf of Block Authority, and that's probably one of them. So I think we're going to probably see next couple of days. We're going to get caught up on all of these requests. So I would hold off on that.
Yeah, once I put pass on the tracker, Easy K, he checks it every day, and when he sees it, then he starts his little process of getting it to Block Authority.
And just so you know, I don't remember if I have this anywhere on my notes, but I've been working with Easy K on the tracker for council pay as well as Bagman's pay for running the Voyager committee. And I got our stuff all taken care of, so I'm going to start receiving those tokens on a monthly basis, and then sending them out to your individual wallets. And I asked Bagman for his wallet today, so he'll receive the 250K monthly that we agreed to pay him for hosting the Voyager meetings and broadcast them and stuff like that. So that'll happen here real soon. All right, open council discussion stuff. If we can go on to that, I wrote down some random things, but if you guys want to just kick it off and talk about anything that's on your minds, you're welcome to.
There was a time we was going to move Void to or move it from the Caymans to the United States. I don't know if that ever went anywhere. I do remember that was a topic in the past.
Well, for a while, we were talking about the Constitution, and we were talking about the structure of Voy and all that. It all took a back burner in my mind, and maybe we should start to revisit some of those questions again. I actually was looking for Scotty's notes on the Constitution. I couldn't find them in the past couple of days, but I'm sure they're there somewhere. But it'd be nice to start to tackle some of these things now that we've got some of the kind of like I feel like we've got a lot of the kind of core things out of the way, and now maybe it's a good time to try to look at some things that are just kind of ancillary. But the other thing that I had my notes from a couple weeks ago was about the transparency report. The was what were we talking about the transparency report? Because I didn't get good notes about that.
Fury was gonna do it. In his proposal there, it got added to it, I believe.
Okay, so I'll just leave that alone. That'll be part of that. Got it. Okay.
Oh, we shouldn't have anything backroom meetings. Everything should be transparent, I believe.
But these are you talking about like when Bagman hosts the Voyager committee and having kind of information about what took place there so that you can report on it?
Those were in the council meetings 6 months, 8 months ago, 6 or 8. I was going through my notes. I have to look to see which one it was. Just old notes.
Okay, but we'll make sure that we've got everything to Fury that he might need. Also, the other thing for Fury is the old relay node payouts. Did that ever get solved? Yeah. Okay. So we'll need to follow up on that next meeting to make sure that went out. But like I said, I think that Gov has just been busy with life and he needs a couple days.
I can talk briefly about what was gone over in the U.S. move. It was brought up only in conversations. It was never put in writing. There was never a proposal submitted. We talked about it with Gov primarily because he would be the one who would be leading the charge on that. And it went as far as, yes, it's an interesting option, but how do we do it properly? And it was really, we were, as council members, in my measure, given questions we couldn't really answer. I think it's really a legal problem and a business problem that Block Authority would be able to solve with the right amount of funding. But to me, it seemed like, how do you move back to the US if you're already an insolvent company? Who's going to do the work for you if not Gov? It's essentially, it seems like if Gov is able to do it, it's doable. But from my understanding, there's not additional money somewhere to pay for the move. So it'd be like, how much WAD can you put into the market to pay for somebody to move it back to Crystal Lake, rent it out of Doris Stockos?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it feels like that's going to be a back burner item, anyways. I mean, it's like the location of Void Network doesn't have a material effect on what's going on right now, unless we get some kind of wild subsidies and Trump pays us to like run a network or something, right? So
Mr. Glenn Kennedy does charge a lot of money per year. He could just stop. He could just stop signing things, and then I don't know how you guys would move money anymore. So maybe you could just take treasury control out of Glenn Kennedy's hands. Okay, I'm suggesting things that are very radical. I'm a big fan of Glenn Kennedy. He's never done me wrong. He always signs the paperwork. I have no hate for Glenn Kennedy. He's a well-paid person in the Caymans.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It was discussed in July 30th, or the council meeting the 29th or 30th.
So I mean, basically, it would be fair to just talk to Gov about this and say, is there a cost savings and is it feasible to move Voya to America at this point, and just find out, right? I mean, there's nothing much else to do besides that. Because nobody else is going to have an opinion about whether it's feasible.
What's the benefit, cost? How feasible is it? That's all we need, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
And knowing what I know about Gov, he's thought extensively about this already.
Yeah, probably.
This is
Cool.
what he thinks about when he's in the stands at football games.
That's it for my notes. Anybody else have anything they'd like to discuss in open session?
There was I seen a comment on Discord saying they was having a problem with the Void Block Explorer seeing the wrapped tokens. I saw you messaged them something back there, Ruth, but
Yeah, it really comes down to the fact that like Dorkfi, for example, has tokens to claim that are wrapped, and if you do it through Dorkfi, that it like automatically unwraps them. But if you do it through Voy Wallet or Voy Rewards, then you get the wrap tokens. You have to figure out where to unwrap them. So it's kind of on the list to try to get that stuff figured out. But in the meantime, I provided them with a link so they could go figure it out and do it themselves.
what happened to Spaces? I did it on Nautilus.
Yeah, it's on Nautilus. It's under the wrapped Voy ecosystem stuff. You just need to select the correct one. But I can give, yeah, there you go. Bagman gave you the link. Anything else? We might have a
No
short
space.
meeting tonight.
Yeah. So are we going to get somebody to fill in Spaces, or is that become dead? Doing like some more spaces
just like
during the week. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, nobody's stepping up to try to do it. I got kind of burned out doing twice a week when we didn't have a lot of people showing up. I'm still doing Thursday nights every time, and it does take people a little while for them to show up, but it's better than not having it happen.
Wasn't Spaces part of the proposal though for the marketing stuff?
I would think it would be. Yeah.
I thought it was at least once a week. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I mean, I can't imagine that. I mean, like he might be doing it at times that we're not usually doing Spaces too, because I can't imagine Fury like waking up in the morning and hosting a space that's like a degen space like Taco used to do. Maybe it's going to be an educational space throughout the day or whatever, but like it's like a separate kind of thing. Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, if we want people to host spaces, the problem is like who was doing it before is Taco and Ice Age, and neither one of them are active currently. We could, people know that there's an opportunity to earn some VOI if they do host a space. Miles could do it if he wanted to. Bagman said that he's willing to, but it really depends on the times. And I want to talk about Youth Denver. Thank you, Wilder. No pre-funded mobile wallets. Dorkfi does plan to be in Youth Denver, and so we're looking forward to going and doing that and networking. And it'll be on behalf of VOI, but also on behalf of the project. So we should probably start to figure out who else is going to be around. That'd be a great way to meet up with people.
What's the dates on that?
I forget. Bagman knows because we got a house rented. It's got a hot tub and everything. And by hot tub I mean a bathtub with hot water. So the 17th through the 21st of, it's not 12 though, it's 2. It's February.
17th through the 21st, you said?
Of February, yeah.
All right, I'll have to check my work schedule.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I've always wanted to go, but
we've had a great time. I know that other people went last year and I didn't get the chance to go, but I went the year before that, and it was really fun. Even though I was there with VOI people, it was fun, and I would definitely look forward to doing it again. So.
Hey, there was the Bagman was asking about the one that had the proposal that had VOI selling things. It was Albino Hive, and it was in June 27th when they submitted it.
Yeah.
So if he was interested, he's listening.
Is that the one, like the Amazon thing? They were just like trying to sell shit.
Yeah. Yep. And it was one of the OX Labs ones that came in.
Oh, Coops Timu. All right, cool. I think we're good. I don't want to drag it on. Maybe we'll host a space. Oh, he's asking questions. Did you guys give an eval? Well, we reviewed Cube's proposal. We could never link up to him to have a conversation. He was never available when we were available, or when the majority of the council was available. The price point was enough USDC that it would have drained the entire pool for VOI, and it was just kind of deemed a non-starter, which is why we've decided to try Furious method and see how it goes.
He never actually.
Yeah, we still need to email him and give him a rundown what we did.
He was requested. I reached out to him and direct. I don't know if he was. I don't know if he's expecting like a quick yes or no quickly. That's kind of the vibe I got. He didn't get that. I don't know though.
Yeah, it fell out. It fell off too for the 30 days, I believe it. We told him to update the proposal, and he said he did, and the one that he sent in was blank.
Yeah,
we never found out.
He never did get around to like checking his email and updating the actual proposal through the email. So that was the other thing that held us back, was we were looking for a VOI number, and he would never update it to give it to us. So. All right, cool. I'm done. I'm gonna go chill for a second and think about whether or not I'd like to be hosting a space tonight. and and if you guys are gonna be around, it's probably more likely than not, but up to you. And we will chat next time if that's cool.
Yeah, Wilder. I'll review that proposal when I get home from work in the morning, and then I'll get up with you either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Awesome. All right, talk to you later. See ya.